Lucas Moraes has been flying under the radar, but he briefly led the rally today until a 1-minute speeding penalty dropped him to 4th. But the Brazilian is still on the hunt, and so too second place. Cristina Gutierrez was also able to push today, moving herself back into the top 5 overall. She praised the team for their incredible work and said the car was perfect. Well, Nasser Al-Attiyah also cut a much more satisfied figure back at the bivouac as he powered over in the SSVs. Alexander Pinto got what he came for, maximum points in the W2RC. The Portuguese star didn't overdo it because he wanted to get through without any major mechanicals, especially as this was his first outing in the Polaris. It was also a good day for the Toyota Gazoo Racing W2RC team. Seth Quintero chose to go second and spent a while opening with his new co-driver Andy Short, a fellow winner in Morocco.
I think I won 2020.
Well, Carlos Sainz was the first to go after finishing dead last in yesterday's prologue, and predictably, the rally legend ran into a bit of trouble. He lost time opening and also shipped a couple of minutes due to a puncture, so, in his own words, it wasn't a good day. The silver lining is that the new Ford Raptor T1 Plus is Ford on the day. The Swede says he has found a setup he likes in the new Raptor, and if it wasn't for one bad outing, they might have been fighting for the podium. The homework is done, now it's time to prepare for the Dakar. Aziz Al-Rajhi, who was forced to retire with mechanical issues. The Saudi's been on a miserable run since he won the Dakar, a DNF in Abu Dhabi, then serious vertebrae injuries at the Baja Jordan, which forced him to miss South Africa. Today's misadventures ended his hopes of a good overall. Mathieu Serradori is also performing nicely in the new CR7, saying he can feel the improved speed and traction with the upgraded chassis. He and Loic Menardier still need to figure out the suspension settings, but they're running in 6th overall. Well, Lionel Beau is driving one of 3 X-Raid Minis at this event, and he was the fastest of them on this 3rd stage. He's competing alongside his daughter Lucy, with whom he's finished the last 2 editions of the Dakar. They were just inside the top 10 today, just outside that corner, and they sit 13th overall. It's Akil's BBR Motorsport teammate, Pau Navarro, who currently leads overall. Funnily enough, the Spaniard says he feels like he hasn't actually had a clean stage yet, but he'll go into the final stage with a 4-minute lead over Nicolas Cavigliasso. And if the Argentine runs into trouble, he still has a slim chance of W2RC. Away from the title fight, Eric Gottschall had a solid day in the dunes, saying he can't remember the last time he had so much fun in the car. The Polish wonder kid is still getting to grips with the ultimate class after his precocious Dakar win in the SSVs. 6th place for him today. Ahead of him, meanwhile, Dania Akil made the most of penalties elsewhere to jump up to 2nd place. A much better day for the Saudi after she lost a wheel during the prologue. She's bottom of the standings, but only 8 minutes 37 off the pace. After his memorable prologue victory, Gareth Woolridge was 12th. The South African hasn't actually raced since last November, and he says no amount of testing can replace competitive kilometres. Local knowledge didn't help too much on a tough day, but they're only 6.5 minutes down. Seth Quintero was the overnight leader, but he lost more than 10.5 minutes. He wasn't too unhappy about it though, and said the car was amazing. The American planning a big push tomorrow. Nasser Al-Attiyah and Carlos Sainz would lose significant time.
Meanwhile, up front, Pau Navarro was still charging, but it wasn't to be. In an epic battle, he would leave this year best of the rest.
We came here in the third.
Rodriguez took the day's honours in the SSVs, finishing 4 minutes clear of his teammate Alexandre Pinto. That's now 3 wins this week for the Old Friends Rally team, a group of Portuguese pals who used to race the Dakar together in South America.
We are old friends team.
To the ultimate class, and it was a very bad day for the Toyota Gazoo Racing team. Yesterday's stage winner Seth Quintero was undone by a broken damper. He and Dennis Sens had to stop several times and carry out makeshift repairs, and they eventually limped home almost 2 hours down. That drops them to the bottom of the standings. Yasser Sayyidan continues to close the gap on the World Championship leader Sebastian Guayasamín in the SSVs. The Saudi had a solid outing today, coming second and increasing his overall lead to almost 40 minutes. He now trails Guayasamín by just 2 points in the W2RC.
Meanwhile, the whole field had a Dacia driver double to deal with as Sebastian Loeb and Nasser Al-Attiyah took over at the top. The Qatari pushed hard from 60 kilometres out and was never re-caught by Moraes, although a penalty for last year's winner meant he was third today. Half of the distance completed. Moraes had stopped the rot a little, but he and Monleon knew they would need the Qatari to slip up if they were to snatch an unlikely overall victory.
Gonçalo Guerreiro continues to edge his way towards overall victory in the Challengers. The Portuguese star and his co-driver Bruno Giacomi are just making sure that they bring their Taurus Evo Max to the finish line safely every day, and today they only missed out on the stage win by 37 seconds. Second place went to Matthias Ekstrom, 53 seconds. He becomes the first Brazilian to win a W2RC event, and you could see exactly what it meant to him. The Belgians' loss was a Brazilian's gain. Lucas Moraes claiming another podium this year after a strong final day showing. Well, in spite of that mishap, Akil was the third fastest challenger on the day, around 5 minutes off the pace. The Vic stage to Quintero and overall victory to Sebastian Loeb. The WRC legend hasn't had too many of these in his rally raid career, only his second. This is what that Ford Raptor looks like in full flight when it's being tracked by an FPV drone. After a difficult start to the rally, Carlos Sainz had a much better day today, finishing second on his return to home soil. Plenty of fans out to support El Matador, who's up to fourth overall. No indeed, and Benavides fans will be pleased to hear that Kevin had a much smoother day today, finishing sixth in the T3s. After the high of a first ultimate stage win yesterday, João Ferreira came crashing back down to earth today. The Portuguese star didn't expect the tracks to be so slippery and came to a standstill at kilometre 162. He ended up losing over an hour and a half. But there's no stopping this man right now. Jeremias Ferrioli enjoying his best day of the rally so far to secure the stage honours and increase his overall lead to nearly 15 minutes.
We had a good pace, navigation was perfect.
Loeb spent quite a while in first place on the stage, but he was eventually dislodged by two other drivers. Seth Quintero said his day was too good, if anything. Their plan was to finish in around 10th place to cover Moraes tomorrow, but Andy Short did such a fine job navigating that they ended up in second. Instead, the victory went to Alexander Pinto and Bernardo Oliveira, who bounced back brilliantly after damaging their suspension arm yesterday. The Portuguese pair will now be looking to clamber their way up the standings and defend their World Championship lead. In the Challengers, it was a day of mixed fortunes for the World Championship leader, Nicolas Cavigliasso. The Argentine was fighting for victory throughout the stage, but he took a wrong turn late on and lost around 3 minutes, meaning he had to settle for fourth place. In Klatteren, the South African's charge was hindered by a broken drive shaft, but he is only 30 seconds off the lead. It's a proper...
Marcus Baumgart has been another standout contender this year. In the unmissable yellow machine, he charged to third overall in the Challenger category.
I'm very happy.
Mitch Guthrie's doing his last rally in the T3s before joining up with Ford, and the American said it was tricky out there today. There were lots of places where you could hit trouble, especially after the recent rainfall. It was second place for Mitch on the stage, and he now sits third overall. The rally leader did exactly that, only dropping 2 minutes today as he came third. The car has had some suspension issues this season, but they're not really a problem here at W2RC, where there are no big dunes. Al Rajhi still leads Nasser Al-Attiyah by over 2 minutes, and he will be starting behind the Qatari. Meanwhile, Ricardo Rumillo had another excellent day to close on overall victory. The veteran Spaniard came in 4 minutes ahead of Bussi and more than 11 clear of Guayas Amin, who hasn't quite been able to make the most of Yassir Sayadan's early withdrawal from this rally. He is almost 15 minutes clear of Bussi in the standings. We have quickly learned that it's a bit of a nightmare to be opening the piste in South Africa, and today's first 2 starters